Hello and welcome to another Skullgirls video. This time I'm going to be talking about frame data and the importance of frame data in Skullgirls. Every now and then I see someone pop up and say that they don't really understand frame data, they don't know how to read it, they don't know when it's important, or they looked it up and it was too daunting and intimidating that they kinda lost their motivation to play the game. So I'm here to tell you that frame data, yes, it's important, but it's not that important in a game like Skullgirls. Most of what you need to know in Skullgirls is if you can punish that, who's in an advantage, and when's the best time to push block. These are the three most important things in Skullgirls about frame data, in my opinion. If you have a different opinion, please let me know, maybe I overlooked something. But first of all, just go into training mode, go into training options, and put your attack data at advanced. Once you do that, any button you press will show two numbers. A number followed by a slash followed by another number. And you might be asking, what do these numbers mean? Simple, they just mean the first number is the startup and the second is your advantage. It's not really recovery, it's not really how you are doing in a block situation or in a hit situation, it's simply your advantage in any situation. So let's start with jab. Jab 6 means it starts in 6 frames, meaning it takes 6 frames for you to hit your opponent with jab. Minus 22, since I'm whiffing, this game takes it as the entirety of the recovery is from the whole startup. The entirety of the move basically is what it considers as your advantage to be minus 22. But here is the thing in Skullgirls. Your whiff frame data is not that important in the grand scheme of things, because this game allows you to cancel on whiff. You can cancel into special or into super no problem. So your whiff advantage really doesn't matter that much. It matters because if you do like this and your opponent your opponent jumps, there's 40 frames for them to just hit you. But just consider that you're always very liable to be hit once you whiff. Once you start getting better, you do this, your opponent jumps and hits a button, you might just be able to DP out of it and anti-air it. So basically, whiff, you're pretty punishable when you whiff things, but you're actually able to cancel it into your specials, making you safer. So it's not that important, just keep that in mind. And then, on block, which is probably the most important, my jab is plus 4, so if I do this, and this, that's plus 4. If I do this, that's 0 on block, which is not the best, but it's not bad. This means that you can move at the same time your opponent can't move. So since we're both handy, if we both mash our 6th fastest move, which is our 6th frame jab, we'll just trade. But as an example, let's do both and put it as a reversal. There you go. So if I do this, they will reversal with their jab. There we go. I'm plus 4, so I'm gonna hit them. Being plus 4 basically just means that you move 4 frames faster than your opponent. So if you see your opponent do something like this and you block it, that's minus 16. Meaning you can punish it with basically any of your moves. Not that one though. Not that one though. Not your heavy buttons are too slow, but you can punish with your mediums and your lights, no problem. So here's my advice to mostly new players. If you see something that might look unsafe, try to punish it with your fastest move, which is usually your jab. Try to punish it. If you get counter hit, it means that the opponent was actually plus. Or if they go into, let's say they do something unsafe like this, they can cancel it into one of their supers and frame trap you. In these times you have to be patient, because if you want to punish it and you try to punish it before they do the super, they're gonna hit you. Or if you have the read that they're going to try to frame trap you, they will do something unsafe and you'll be able to punish. All supers, well, most supers, most heavy buttons, and most launchers are unsafe. That's a general rule for this game. There are some exceptions, test them with your characters, or if you get counter hit or you can't punish somewhere, come into training mode and check the frame data to see if they're actually punishable or not. Again, since this is 6, anything that's -6 or more, -7, -8 to -20, whatever, you can punish it with a jab. That's what that means. Also, trying to punish things is not something that you normally do in this game. This is not Street Fighter, where they do something and then you're like, oh, I'm at an advantage, I'm going to now take my turn, or oh, they did something unsafe, I'm going to punish. It's not really that much of a waiting game because of assists. They might do something, call an assist, and continue their pressure because the assist hits you, gives them a frame advantage, and even through block strings, they'll be able to continue the pressure and mix you up. That's why push blocking is very important. So just know, if they do a super, that's punishable most likely. If they are ending their strings on a heavy button and they're not canceling into anything, go for the punish. But mostly what you want to be doing is push block. Like, push blocking usually is better on the first hit, even if right here I'm at a +11 advantage, meaning I get to move faster than my opponent and I get to go in a little better, a little faster, and continue my pressure. It's a little better to do it on first hit because, again, since it's an assist heavy game, they might call a lockdown assist and lock you down, and then they'll be able to mix you up. If you get them away the first time they try to get in and they call an assist, it won't actually catch you and you won't be locked down. But let's say, as it's not that easy to react to the first hit in a block string and immediately push block. It's not that easy. So maybe you're gonna wait until they do something like this to push block. Like, my fireball in this situation gets me at a +4, allowing me to continue my pressure fairly safe. So you want to push block, right? But when is the best time to push block? Let's say I do this. You push block when they do their safe special, because you're waiting for them to do something unsafe, but since you notice they do a safe special, you push block. But as you can see, you left your opponent as a +18 advantage. That's a lot. So if you see that situation again, and you know they're gonna go into that, what happens if you do it on the first one instead? Your opponent was actually at a -14, meaning your opponent has enough, you have enough time to maneuver that fireball from your opponent. So my advice here, I'm not going to tell you to go into training mode and see how the push block interacts with everything. No. Just try to push block things as much as possible, like just wait around to see what your opponent does. If they call a lockdown assist, lock you down and mix you up, next time just push block as soon as possible, because you don't want to be in that situation. But if they're not doing that, if they're ending their strings in something unsafe and not doing anything after that, just wait and punish. But if they are going for a safe or even plus special, most characters in this game have one special made to add block strings for your confirms. Like I'm doing this, oh you blocked, I'm going to go into my plus special so I can continue my pressure. Or if I hit, I can be like, where is the block? Block, 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 block. Blocking. But if I hit, I can go into my combo. That's basically what most people will do once you're starting, once you're not like high level player or anything. So just try, if you end up in a situation where you don't know when it's the best time to push block, just pop into training mode, record the dummy and push block here, there and over there and see when's the best time, so when you end up in a familiar situation, you know when to push block. So just to sum everything up, I'm basically telling you here is that knowing that most supers and heavy buttons are punishable, try to punish them with a jab if your opponent is not cancelling them. If your opponent is cancelling their normals into a special that is safe, push block. Just push block. Most of the time people will be doing this, so push block all the time you can. If you push block and end up yourself in a worse situation, or in a disadvantage, or if you push block press a button and you still get stuffed, your opponent still continues the rush down, go into training mode, record what your opponent was doing, and try to figure out what's the best time to push block. Simple as that. And finally, just don't be scared to push block. I see a lot of people that they're new and that I'm literally just doing this. Like quite literally, I just do this the entire round and they cannot do anything. Don't be scared to do a wrong push block. Just push block. And again, if you're push blocking, and if one time you decide, oh, I'm not gonna push block this time, and your opponent doesn't do anything safe, go for the punish. If they do a DP, go for the punish. If they go for something and don't cancel it, go for a punish. That's basically what the frame data is most important in Skullgirls. You don't really have to know the numbers. You just have to know if you're in an advantage or not most of the time, and when it's best to push block. Which comes with time. So for the time being, just push block as much as you want, then go into training mode and see what you can, when you can push block, to see when's the best time to push block against what your opponent was doing. Simple as that. You don't have to memorize like, oh, this is 0 on block and this is -11 on block. No, this is not that type of game. This is not Street Fighter. You don't have to memorize all the frame data. It's kind of good to know all the frame data though if you're like a top level player. But if you're not, you can get really good at this game by just knowing your advantages. That's all you really have to know. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.